Excuse me, sir, excuse me, is this the video we can see the movie Jaws in? Which Jaws? The one that Spielberg directed. I saw it on TV. They showed a shark killing people, just like this. There is footage from Jaws in it, but we're not allowed to use it, and we hope we don't get sued. You mean to say I rented this video and the movie's not even Jaws? They didn't say that on TV. There's nothing I can legally say about that. Now, will you please return the video? Baloney! But I thought we were gonna watch Jaws! Oh, Ronnie, shut up! We need a bigger helicopter! It's the Cruel Jaws Watch Along!
Hello and welcome, everyone, to the Everything Sequel podcast Watch Along of Cruel Jaws. My name is Michael Shantz. I'm from the How Dare You Awards. That lengthy and delicious intro was given to you by the magical and currently great white shark Tom Stewart of Lonesome Whistle Productions. Hello, Tom.
A terrible thing, all right. In a split second, I lost everything. I lost my wife, my will to live, most of all, Susie's smile. She'll never be able to walk again. Fortunately, she's a strong kid. Here at the aquarium, she's found a reason to live. Every time she feels like it, she's out there in the water.
That sounded like Frank Drebin.
Oh, I wish. Well, actually, no, that's it's a non-parodic Frank Drebin.
Wow.
You must be you must be like salivating.
Oh, I'm very
because
excited.
You haven't seen it. You can't even put any of this in context
No.
yet.
I know nothing about Cruel Jaws except I didn't do this very well, but I've got my Jaws shirt and I've got a piece of tape with Cruel written on it.
Right. I mean, slapping a bit of tape on a Jaws t-shirt is the perfect metaphor for this movie. That's exactly how it plays out.
That's how they did it?
Yeah, and also it's interesting you said I know nothing about Cruel Jaws because you have a leg up already because you've seen the movie Jaws. So you've seen about conservatively 15% of this movie.
Oh, wow. So they just lift from all the Jaws movies.
Well, let me break it down a little bit because this is unusual in a number of ways. So
how do they get away with that?
They didn't. It's illegal.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's an illegal movie. We're watching a pirated movie, and not just because it's set on the high seas and there are pirates in it.
Oh my god, it's getting better.
You don't even know. Like I said to you before we went on air, you may have woken up this morning not thinking this was going to be the best day of your life, but you're going to go to sleep thinking it.
Oh man.
So we wanted to venture. So we're all about on the watch alongs alternative sequels. And so we wanted to a movie that ventured into the world of
non-sequel sequels.
Non-sequel sequels. So we wanted to venture into the world of unofficial sequels and
illegal sequels,
also known as AKA. And this movie, Cruel Jaws, it goes around calling itself Jaws 5 in some territories of the world. It features, as we've already alluded to, unlicensed use of footage and music from Jaws, and not just Jaws as well. Pretty much the sort of whole Spielbergian canon. And it also notably, and this is sort of where you get a little more nuanced, takes whole scenes and verbatim plot elements from Jaws. And what I mean by that is I'm not talking about pastiche or it feels like it's from Jaws. It's
right.
like
it is from Jaws.
Yeah, it's the unique details of Jaws.
Yeah.
Things that there's no ambiguity there.
And in story, you're talking about now, right?
Story and screenplay.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Like actual whole scenes from the movie Jaws reacted.
I do
and-
remember hearing something along the way in the ether that I think this is like a Trolls 2 kind of movie, isn't it? Wasn't there a foreign
First of all,
director?
it's Troll 2.
Sorry, you're right, Troll 2.
It's either, of course, Trolls 2 would have been a way better title. But if you have the trolls, you don't
Despite the
need
fact
the two.
there's no trolls,
Yes.
at least they would have gotten the plurality right
That's
of
And
the
then, of
goblins.
course, you don't need the two.
But
Yeah, this is probably the best worst movie we've covered on this podcast, and
Oh, wow.
I'm going to speak for you and say it may be the best worst movie you've covered on the How Dare You podcast as well.
Wow. So I have to make Chew watch this.
She might fight you. Like, and I don't mean that allegorically. I mean, she may physically harm you. I've heard the show. I've heard the stories.
She'll have a conniption fit.
Yeah. You're gonna be like the guy in the Costco parking lot.
Yeah, she's gonna Molotov cocktail right through my bedroom window.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the.
If you listen to the show, you know it's not past her to do such a thing.
No, absolutely not. And that's the other element of these watch-alongs, is that we pick movies that you need some help navigating, just to use a maritime reference there. And while I think that job for this particular movie would be better done by a copyright lawyer, I think having one of the hosts of the How Dare You podcast, also the founder of the How Dare You Awards, is qualification enough for this particular job. And I think, one of the things we might want to talk about when the movie's over is like how I think we can go past, is this a bad movie? I think we can sort of take that as read. How good.
Yeah, because I think I remember hearing that, like Troll 2, like this movie is populated by non-actors that they just found in the town where they were filming, right?
Non-actors doesn't even begin to describe it, Mike. I've got one particular guy that I'm gonna ask you to sort of track in this movie.
Those are the only
because
things
I think
I remember
he's in a whole
about
other
this
league
movie.
of bad acting.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there anybody on the level of what was that guy we liked in Troll 2? The black, the kind of, that dark weirdo. Remember the guy we liked?
Nothing in that league. You see, it's what distinguishes this from Trolls 2 or Trolls. Is I think it's that kind of dispassionate bad acting. The one that it doesn't even have like a it doesn't even have like a focus. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's just so blank. Except when it's like people who are completely dead inside being asked to do the most like insane things on screen. So this is why I think I would put this right now, and we'll talk about this when we've both seen the movie.
Does anybody say this is not a boating accident?
Probably.
Damn it.
It probably for me right now it's hovering between Troll 2 and The Room in the lead. So I really think this is an elite bad movie, and we might want to think about how much that is the case.
All right.
The other consideration is one that, as Mike's t-shirt alludes to, is the Jaws canon. It was one of the first film series that we covered on the Everything Sequel podcast, so it's very personal to us.
Yeah.
And appropriately, this movie doesn't just remake Jaws, it remakes the entire series. So that's sort of one. We might even.
All right. So let me announce right now that I'll go on Jaws series counting expedition for how many times we see clips from all the movies.
Well, no, it doesn't use footage from anything but Jaws. It does use footage from other shark movies, but Jaws is the only Jaws movie it takes from is the original. But in terms of plots and scenes and storylines, it's covering the whole gamut of Jaws 1 to 4.
All right.
So we might actually want to think if it forces a reevaluation of our ranking and declarations for Jaws series. I don't think 2 or 3 are in any jeopardy, but Jaws the Revenge
might be.
You better watch itself.
You better mind your P's and Q's, Jaws the Revenge.
But and the other side, because we don't cover the original on Everything Sequel, but I know for a fact that Jaws is your favorite movie of all time.
Yes.
So this is going to be a very special episode of Mike's Memories. Because
I should have brought in my closed beach sign for this.
Because I'm relying very much on you to spot the Jaws in Cruel Jaws.
Right.
And that I feel like this is a safe space to say something.
Always, Tom. Always.
A safe space to say something to you that I've never wanted to say to you.
You hate that movie.
No. That's exactly what I thought you'd think I was going to say, and that's why I don't want to say it. But I cannot commit the movie Jaws to memory.
Oh, wow.
I have a real problem with this. I was listening to some podcasts that were talking about Jaws recently, and I wanted to watch.
You were like, what? When does that happen?
Right. And then so I was like, I'm going to sit down and watch Jaws. I haven't watched it in years. Honestly, about 75% of it I do not remember at all.
Wow.
And it's already fading. And this is not about quality at all, because yes I have
be.
I have limited.
Because it's fucking awesome.
I know. Okay. This is why I'm confronting you here. not in the street. Because
not near any blunt objects.
Right, exactly, virtually. But so my I think I've said before, my reverence for Spielberg is limited. But I genuinely think that he did all his best movies in the 70s, and Jaws is certainly one of his best movies. I think that's, it goes without saying for a lot of people, but I'm going to say that too. I also like it a lot. I mean, the acting, the writing, the directing, everything is on point.
Yes.
But what is something in that movie that will not let me retain it? You
be careful, Tom. You be fucking
I'm not
careful.
saying it's forgettable. I'm definitely not saying it's forgettable. So
I can feel the blood pressure rising.
I know. So I'm relying on, for that reason.
It's a good thing I haven't been exposed to gamma rays. Hulk out here.
Save yourself. That might not be entirely irrelevant to this movie.
What? What? Oh my God.
So I'm relying on you. So because I have that distance from it. I haven't, because I can't retain the memory of Jaws. I need you to tell me what's Jaws and what's not.
All right.
But also it's possible that you might dislike this more than me, because I have a certain distance from Jaws that allows me to take what is an affront to the very idea of Jaws, this movie. I'm willing. I can laugh at everything. Nothing bothers me in the way that someone who's, it's your favorite movie. You might find this quite distasteful.
I don't know.
I know you have an appreciation for bad cinema that I think is going to overrule that, but
yeah.
I do also think there are moments where you'll be like, where do they get their balls to do this? And I'm just going, la, 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 la.
I mean, you heard me. I already was excited for somebody to say this was not a boating accident.
Well, I've already said, one of my many quotables was we need a bigger helicopter, which is
I noticed that.
I heard that reference.
I thought it was like it kind of made me think, is there a Piranha 2 aspect to this movie? Like, are we going to see
Jaws
more
2?
Or yeah, exactly. Are we going to see municipal helicopters just ditched?
I'm
by,
not gonna say no.
by police officers.
I think you'll be perfectly happy with the use of helicopters in
I'm
this
very
movie.
excited. Will there be
Um,
another Abraham Lincoln?
but I love that line for so many reasons. Just as a summative line to say, where this movie stands in relation to Jaws. But I thought it's like a Facebook post. Tell me you're a Jaws ripoff without telling me you're a Jaws ripoff. We need a bigger helicopter.
Yeah, right.
But
like before we get started here, we should let people know we have found this movie
barely.
somehow on Prime Video. You can, I think, even rent it on Prime Video for $3, which is strange to me considering it's illegal. But there's also, what'd you say? You could sign up for
Right.
something else
Yeah,
and
you
get
can
it for
get it
free.
with a free trial to streaming services, either Con TV or Indieplex TV. It'll cut if you have a Prime Video account, it'll tell you that you can get it for free with these free trials. Um, that's the perfect viewing conditions, is to have to sign up for a free trial to a streaming service you don't want in order to watch this movie. But if you want to watch it with ads, it's on a few streaming services like Tubi. But we didn't
I
want to.
believe, yeah.
We didn't want to have to deal with the ads, so that's why we did it. But Mike brings up a very good point, which is that how is this movie even available, because it is an illegal entity. And I can talk a little bit about this.
Okay.
So it was released on video in hold back your surprise. Um in
What?
in 1995.
Wow.
And
So we're on the 26th anniversary.
right, and it masqueraded for years as a real Jaws sequel. Distributors bought it thinking it really was.
That's that's magic. That's
Because
great.
of its kind of bad movie cachet.
Fantastic.
Because of its bad movie cachet, it kind of Scream Factory tried to release it on DVD and Blu-ray about 10 years ago. They managed to get the DVD release, but they were unable to get it on. There were still too many legal questions of copyright surrounding it to put it on Blu-ray. So it was released on Blu-ray last year, finally. So it took a decade to untangle those legal problems. But it's also interesting because I don't think Spielberg's ever spoken out about this, but we know he has spoken out about other instances of plagiarism against his movies. So for instance, the story behind Piranha is that Universal were all set to sue them for plagiarizing Jaws. Spielberg saw Piranha, told them to back off, said, "This is interesting, this is good," and then of course poached Joe Dante for Gremlins, and
right.
Basically, they became collaborators.
They became pals. Yeah.
Yes. And a similar story with something that is closer to plagiarism, which is the Raiders shot by shot remake by those kids.
Right.
He was very pro that, and when he saw the tape, he invited them to meet him and said he was inspired by it and he could see the love behind it.
Yeah, right.
So it'd be interesting to get his take on this, like whether he can see the whether he can, because there is no affection. It is completely mercenary in the way that it poaches Jaws. It's a real affront in a very cavalier way.
Well, let me just announce right now, Steven Spielberg. I'll just call you Steven. I feel that close to you. Give us a call.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
Come litigate it on the podcast.
Right. But I know he is very possessive of the Jaws brand, because let's face it, the only reason why Jaws hasn't been rebooted or remade in the last decade or so is because of him, because he refuses to let it happen. He's the only thing holding that back. It would
and he sort of
there
famously
would have been 10 more Jaws movies by now if he'd have said yes. We know that.
He's sort of famously the reason he really stuck around in the Jurassic Park series was he always lamented that he had let go of the Jaws series and let other people take over and, do other stuff, do what they wanted with it as opposed to what maybe he would have wanted to do with it.
And that's interesting. That's interesting. So I wonder how he'd react to that, given that actually Jaws isn't the only Spielberg movie that is used illegally here. But I mean,
I can't wait to man, I'm very excited.
Yeah, don't drool on your microphone too much.
Yeah,
it'll like break on you. But more broadly, this movie fits into a genre that I was kind of vaguely aware of, but obviously not really seen too many movies in, which is sharksploitation. But it's interesting that the term sharksploitation is used interchangeably with jawsploitation, because
right.
I do want to mention I'd rather you obviously watch this than watch watch both or listen to both, but independently. With Gawley and Rust are doing the Jaws series at the moment, and they
right
at the same time that we were coming up with this. Speaking of like legalese, yeah, around about the same time, I absolutely
you were very upset the other day.
I've had this in my planner for like months and months and months. Anyway, they added on Cruel Jaws to their discussion of the series, and we're sort of going to be releasing at the same time. But Paul Russ made a comment in one of the episodes recently, which is actually really important, which is that the sharksploitation subgenre is more beholden to one movie, Jaws, than any other in cinematic history. And it's true, it's like if you make a vampire movie, chances are there will be Dracula references in it, but it's not a guarantee. If you make an ape movie, it won't necessarily be King Kong. It might be. You make a shark movie, there's at least one Jaws reference in there. Guaranteed. No exceptions. There is no shark movie without Jaws. So basically, it's in like an entire. So what this movie
Deep Blue Sea has the same license plate,
right? So that's kind of interesting because this movie is sort of, or this director, who I'm going to talk about in a second, is how to use that term loosely, is taking advantage of something that's already going on in the genre, which is that everyone is paying their respects to the Don, except they're not doing it with respect. It's like literally like The Godfather. It's like, but you don't ask for respects. You don't offer friendship. This guy is,
they're not wetting beaks.
This guy is Bonacera in the opening scene of The Godfather. He's coming. How much? Actually, he's not Bonacera, because Bonacera says, "How much can I pay you?" And Bruno Mattei definitely never said that.
Oh, he would never say that. Yeah.
So you can think about it in all those terms, but we've also got to think about this as an auteur movie. This is a Bruno Mattei movie, and it's interesting that the name of this director is Bruno Mattei.
Like shot, chopped, and
because that name appears nowhere in this movie.
Wow.
He directed this movie under the pseudonym William Snyder. And you're already getting a sense that this is a man of subterfuge, and that's exactly what he is.
Well, I'm getting big time Piranha 2 vibes again.
Right. It's exactly the same thing.
We don't want a foreign name on it.
This is an Italian movie, and remember we discussed then that it's bad marketing to have an Italian director for a movie that's targeted at an American market, or a worldwide market even.
Well, and the same for Troll 2.
Yeah,
used a pseudonym. Yeah.
So he anglicized his name, but this is a director who deals, as far as I can tell, exclusively in sequel subterfuge. So pretty much all the lion's
That's my new favorite phrase.
No, but it's
That
exactly what
belongs
he
on a
does.
t-shirt. Sequel
It's
subterfuge.
that's the only way to say it, because the lion's share of this guy's movies are unofficial sequels and or sound-alikes of well-known blockbusters. And
Oh man.
he goes around the world conning distributors into thinking that they're getting a sequel, a late sequel from a series, and you get it, and it's not, even though it might have footage from one
Right.
of those movies in it. So that's who we're dealing with. That's who's behind this movie.
I love this. I love all of it. I love all of it. Can we start? I'm so excited.
Yeah. I also just I wanted to draw like some of the major differences from like, let's to adjust our brains. If you're coming to this as a Jaws sequel, you need to remember this never saw the inside of a movie theater.
Right.
Released on video. It is technically a summer release in that it came out on September 26th, which is about as close to summer to like as close as you can be to summer while still being in fall.
Yeah.
And it's you know, it was made illegally rather than legally as the other Jaws sequels. And yes, it is an Italian production, although the traces of that are fairly slight. I think they've done as much as they can to eradicate that. It was filmed in Florida, which
Right.
Jaws 3D was also filmed in Florida. So that's all worth remembering. When we're just in case you're expecting some kind of production value here, you'll be sorely disappointed, but everything else in the movie will make up for that disappointment.
Well, and let's also just state, because we're about to start, that I mean,
Yes.
when we count down, we we're counting down to the story.
Yeah.
There will not be. I just trying to get it here on my computer. I mean, there was no distributor. There was no, hey, like you just see a fucking boat.
Yeah. This movie begins like no other movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So if you're mentally thinking, do I have time to go to the bathroom before this? You do not.
Yeah, no. Don't make a sandwich.
Go like pause now.
Yeah.
Pause now, pee, come back to us, but do not think you have like titles.
If you're gonna need a delicious beverage for this movie, get it now. You have 30 seconds.
Yes. So yeah, don't take any chances when it comes to starting this movie, is what I'm saying. Once we're in.
Because at 00001,
yeah,
we're into it.
That's right. That's right. Yes. And just a very small preview. They're gonna throw a lot at you. They're not gonna ease you in any way. They're gonna throw a lot at you. So I think we have to start this, right?
So all right.
Because Mike's sitting in a puddle of drool.
Yeah,
and
I'm super excited.
And if we don't get the timing of this exactly right, literally everything's done.
Everything goes to shit.
We got to start again.
Yeah. All right. I'm ready if you are ready.
I think so. There's a blank screen in front of me on Amazon, but I think if I click it,
it's just black, and I'm at 0:00:00.
That's your time code, everyone.
That's the time code. So
let's see what happens.
All right, let's count down in 3, 2, 1, go.
Boat.
That really is abrupt, isn't it?
That boat just comes right in. It feels like we came in. Oh, here we go.
Hey, exposition.
That's a lot of info. Oh, here we go. He's not done. That's a lot of information to put in the very first dialogue of the movie. The pauses help, but I think it's an acting
right.
I think it's an acting lines issue.
We're gonna sell it.
It feels like we came.
We're gonna get rich.
I mean, talk about cold.
Oh, there we go.
It feels like
actual titles.
It feels like we came in midway through the movie and midway through a scene.
Oh, absolutely.
And I've got to say, Europe Communications and Production Group may be the least real sounding company that we've had. And we've had some fake sounding companies.
That's quite a J font. That's quite a font they're using for that title.
Yeah, the title card's as close as you can get to Jaws plagiarism while still being able to beat the handwriting expert in court.
Oh, I'd like to get the boys from the Sounds and Cinema podcast on this, and hearing that the sound work on the bubbles leaving their mouths.
So this is movie of the week, Quint, and he's really more Walter Brennan than Robert Shaw, shall we say? I like the fact that this movie is starting exactly the way that Jaws 2 does, which makes me think this is.
I can't tell what I'm looking at. Am I looking at a shark? Okay.
It makes me think this movie is.
I thought I was looking at a boat there for a second.
Well, they're both stationary objects.
Hey, by the way, so far this is an A+ movie. That shark is ramming rocks.
It's so much like the beginning of Jaws 2 that I actually think this might be a direct sequel to Jaws.
Yeah.
If you notice as well, I don't know how much you can see, but the
I can't see jack shit.
They appear to be using whatever they're using as the model of Jaws to hold up the rocks, that actually push the rocks out.
Right. I love that we have credits going over this action sequence.
That's right. And no music.
No music.
Also, that the size, if you can see it, the size of that shark keeps changing.
Yeah.
It's like a bath toy. It's like this size shark, and then it's like half the frame in the next one. Paco and Jose.
Paco? I was just gonna ask, did I hear that right?
There's no sense that these guys are Latino or that he is Latino. I guess they're Cuban. My guess was that they were Italian guys pretending to be American.
Oh, God. Serve them up as dinner.
That's right. So if they're Paco
this is very Jaws revenge.
Yeah. If they're Paco and Jose, maybe he's La Quinta.
Oh, well, okay.
What just happened? I kind of quite like that expressionistic montage of the shark attacking. I guarantee it's born out of necessity, but it actually looks kind of arty and European.
It did not work.
Yeah.
Now we finally have music.
Everything about the way this movie starts makes me think it's from the 80s. This is 1995. Who sits like that in a passenger seat?
Right?
Is that because the car's not moving or because she doesn't know how to act? A little from column A, a little from column B. It makes me. It's so 80s. I expect to hear an Ernie Hudson voiceover about the Bible.
Yeah, I know, right?
Pay attention to these two guys because you won't see them together for about a third of the movie. William Snyder.
Something smells fishy.
She delivers that so blankly. I know it's a fish pun.
Does that, yeah.
But I don't know what's playing on what.
Does she mean literal or figurative?
Well, the scene doesn't answer any of those questions if it's any consolation.
Oh.
Dolphins! Performing dolphin double acts.
Jaws 3.
Jaws 3D. So far, this is more a remake of Jaws sequels than Jaws itself.
Yeah.
Why do you think they're so happy to see her swimming?
Yeah. Because she was in a car accident 2 weeks ago.
That's it. Yeah, you got
and
it.
Couldn't walk.
Yeah, that's it. Although her legs seem to be doing okay. If you look,
Right?
you can see her legs moving like fairly easily underwater. I didn't catch
I think
that.
it's amazing that this movie has been nonstop music.
Where's that music coming from, anyway?
For everything except where we would have liked to have some music.
Also, where's that music coming from? No one. There's no crowd there.
There's no crowd.
There, she's in a wheelchair. They withheld her disability from us.
I'm sorry. Why is she in a wheelchair?
Well, we'll find. We'll find out.
I'm just curious. A wheelchair seems to denote that she can't use her legs, and she was just swimming.
She was just swimming. You could see her legs under the water. Her dad is Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I know, right?
He's a cross between Hulk Hogan and Tiger King, with none of the personality of those two men.
Right.
And let's all get up again. We just sat down. Let's all get up for the cup. Everyone stay in the frame.
Did he say from Samuel Loomis?
No.
Wow.
It's fair to say they all had a slightly different emotional reaction to that news.
Right.
Well, we could do something about it.
Hey,
yeah,
how's your
we could be proactive about it. I'm gonna rip his balls off.
He just took over, right? He's like, let's talk about me and my life. What's going on with me?
He did the Trump handshake. He was just like
Yeah.
the handshake pulled in. It's like, yeah, I think the cop asked like an innocuous question and he responded with his resume.
Oh, straight out of Jaws.
That's a good corpse.
Yeah.
Not mad about that corpse. They certainly show it enough to show that they were quite pleased with it.
I got you down here because I already set up that you're kind of a boat, water, shark guy.
Oh, this is my guy. See, look at the guy, the cop shooing away those people 1 inch from where they are. And he's got like one line and it's, okay, let's move. And he sort of mumbles it. I've seen the movie Jaws.
A shark did that? Yeah, there's fucking holes bitten out of him.
I'd love it if they accidentally called him Brady.
Why do you need a precise answer? Whale or shark? That's enough.
Yeah, let's go back to the corpse. It's a good prosthetic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go. Now we got Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, well, that's right. I was wondering why we take so long watching them put the lip balm on.
They all seem very confused.
It's really, it's a really long piece. Oh, the crash sims in this just make me feel
Oh, now
so...
this is the first time I've ever seen a coroner go, oh, God.
And he's got the anti-smell stuff on.
Yeah.
Look how close they are together in the frame.
This is the mayor?
Not quite. Actually, that kind of nebbish looking guy is the mayor.
Nah.
But the two guys on either end are kind of like half the mayor each. Season open. We have to postpone the regatta.
Poor regatta.
You can't knock the efficiency of it. They've managed to do about 40 minutes worth of the screenplay of Jaws in one scene and one shot.
Oh, that kid took off those glasses slowly.
Yeah. David Caruso before his time. Tiger shark.
Tiger?
Yeah. See, it's different. It's not like Jaws because it's a tiger shark. Now we watch the Baywatch cast doing a reading of an episode of Saved by the Bell.
Look who's here.
Such a nerd.
Nerd fish doctor.
Nerd fish doctor.
Oh, let's push in. Push in. Push in.
They're already this close together. You don't need to push in on them. His mullet was touching that other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Hulk Hogan. Of course I do.
No.
Try and say no to Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, right.
I've seen Hogan's Knows Best. You don't say no to that guy.
That guy keeps licking his lips.
Brain, dick, brain. We all know that famous phrase, dick, brain, dick, brain. I love how specific the Jaws references are and how off-brand the kids' jargon is.
Right. Meanwhile, this guy's day drinking.
Yeah, there's the sort of mayor and his mullet son, who's about 5 years younger than him.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's taught his son well.
I'm just gonna grab a brandy because I'm 37, so it's okay. Also, they deck out the sort of male like a Colombian drug dealer.
Yeah, so I was just gonna mention the curtains behind him seem to denote that he's selling drugs. This is what he thinks looks good.
Yeah.
That's a lot of tearing of balls off.
That's the third time. What are we in the movie? The third time in 10 minutes that balls have been mentioned. It's now a motif.
Well, who's this guy? This is like a new Hulk Hogan. First, I want to swim. Yeah. She wants to swim before she fucks in the sand.
My note here was, because of the blue filter, you can't really see what's going on. I'm like, is she making out with a trans person? Who's this lady-haired man? To be honest, this won't be the first unintroduced blonde guy that this movie throws at you.
So it appears that he's got a ponytail, but not all the hair reaches the ponytail.
She's going into the water. I wonder if they think if they do scenes from Jaws out of order that we won't notice that they're scenes from Jaws.
Yeah, you're right.
Because this is the beginning of Jaws.
This is the beginning of Jaws right here.
But they decided to go with the Paco and Jose dive to
So we had a Jaws 2 opening that morphed into the finding of the body on the beach, followed by the beginning of Jaws.
With Jaws 3D in the middle of that.
Yeah. Right.
This movie's got its priorities right when it comes to pastiche.
See, this guy, he looks like he doesn't even know how to walk.
He should have played Susie. He would have done a better job pretending he couldn't walk than she is flapping her legs away in the water. Hey, yeah. Susie.
Oh, that is right from Jaws.
Yeah, that's
Wait, what was that?
Jaws. I picked up on that. There are other shark movies that they steal footage from.
Well, yeah, but for a brief moment, it looked like an orca. That's from Jaws.
Well, there is a movie called Orca, too.
I know.
I don't think this movie is above stealing from Orca. Basically,
they are so heavy on the water sounds.
There's a real problem in this movie about miking background sound too loud. Talk about well, to get on the sounds.
Oh,
sounds
that
of
was
cinema
that was
podcast.
from Jaws too. that shot was from Jaws too.
I didn't think this movie could get any better, but watching you notice moments from Jaws movies is actually a preferred viewing experience. Here's the real star of the movie.
The seal?
The seal, yeah. He's my favorite character in the movie.
Wow, that bodes well for the movie. Well, her arms work.
So basically, their attitude to using footage from Jaws is, it's just like stock footage, right?
Yeah. Oh, it was so good. Let's see it again.
Yeah.
So what's going on here? Does Hulk Hogan own this?
Won't be the last time you say. Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's his. He says aquarium, but it feels more like a kind of like a low rent SeaWorld. He's also got some local product placement on his cap, which I think is.
I was just gonna say, what is that? Because it sounds like one of the islands that they put Jurassic Park on.
They use costume as a kind of advertising board. And this is day for night, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Or they accidentally left the blue filter on when they were filming. like those Raiders kids when they were using Betamax and they had A in the corner of the screen.
See, this is all juxtaposed against actually filming at night in the first scene.
We've already had we've already had an example of what night looks like.
We know what night looks like.
Just remember this scene of this couple walking down the beach. This is the best take they got. Never forget.
Me and you. Oh, these guys must be up to no good.
I think
that's
also
what the music's telling me.
You should adjust the beam of those headlights if you're pretending it's night. They might be ripping off Jaws, but they were first to the mark when it comes to rebooting West Side Story. They got there before Spielberg did.
They're not just evil, Tom. They're evil.
Mm-hmm. Also, they're dressed in black.
Oh, all black. I was just going to say.
Especially to beat up someone who already knows who they are. They've dressed in black so that the person they're beating up who know who they are won't know who they are. His voice is way higher than you expect it to be.
Yeah.
Because he looks like that guy who played Hercules. But he talks like Bobcat Goldthwait.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't run him over.
Accidentally.
That was.
They got some crash zooms going on here, in and out.
Oh yeah, that was amazing. I also love that we're picking up with these guys after we just left them. Like we go to a new scene, but we're still with these three.
The rest of the movie is just them throughout the night attacking various locations around. The Viking. Even they think he looks like Hulk Hogan. They call him the Viking.
Yeah. Come here.
For a movie called Cruel Jaws, they seem to be focusing on every kind of marine life but a shark so far.
Oh, those dolphins outsmarted him.
It was, well, the seal. The seal disturbed them. Like I said, he's the hero of the movie.
Wow.
Oh.
A poison fish, you say?
I know! Jimmy's in the well. But he doesn't need to ask Flipper because...
I knew he was going to smell it. Smells like poison.
I think he said someone's tried to poison the dolphins. It came out like someone's tried to poison the dolphins, but I think he said poison.
What he should have said is iocane.
Do you know who that is, who they just zoomed out from in the police station? Who do you think that is? Of the blonde people we've met so far.
Well, that was the guy in the water with
okay,
the girl.
Good. Right, yeah.
No, wait.
He's like that I love that the cop with the high top fade, because he's like he plays the role like he's a high Geordie LaForge. He's like, hey, I'm not blind, I'm high. So Hulk Hogan has super scent. He can smell strychnine in fish.
Yeah. I know the exact note the director gave over and over and over again to all the actors.
What is that?
Wait until they're done speaking and then say your line.
Not too long. Because then we'll waste film. We got to get this all in one shot. Everyone talks really close in this movie. I'm sure you've noticed. It gets worse though.
Jerry Seinfeld. Whoa. Jerry Seinfeld would have a fucking fit watching this movie.
Exactly. That the music and that little
we're redefining this cop right now.
Yeah. Exactly. They want you to think that he's the cool action hero of the movie. Nothing like watching a series of still images in a motion picture.
Yeah. Followed by a jump scare that couldn't possibly be a jump scare.
It was that was a pretty poor excuse for a jump scare. I don't think the heart was in that jump scare.
I can't believe this movie gets to an hour 34 minutes. He's the scientist in this movie? We know they're a sort of locomotive with a mouth full of butcher's knives.
He begins this monologue saying, "What do we know about sharks?" Now, pretty much everything he says following that is either untrue, misleading, or plain bizarre.
Starve them.
The seal is the real star of this movie. So he's not quite the mayor. He's a sort of businessman who's trying to
Right
take this.
here.
He wants to build a hotel where this mini SeaWorld is. He's also got a little bit of a Rudy Giuliani feel about him.
I was going to say, it's like trying to make him sound so New York. You're some kind of a son of a bitch, Sam.
And I'm going to...
He seemed genuinely surprised by this outburst.
Yeah.
After trying to dance on Hulk Hogan's grave.
Mike, did you say that they're trying to make him sound New York?
Yeah.
Okay. Just bank that. Here's our hero.
Oh, there you go.
I gotta get in this position so the seal can knock me in the water.
That guy, yeah. That guy knows how to turn on stage.
That guy was like, I gotta get to my mark.
By the way, this looked like the ending the girls were going for with the guy for Dick Brain, except he wasn't standing near water.
Right.
Oh, he dried off quick.
This is such a pointless transition scene. Like, if they both turned up in the mayor's office, we wouldn't question it.
Right.
Also, these transitional scenes have got a sense of, we're not really supposed to be filming here, so do it fast.
Obsessed my ass.
So Godfrey is the mayor. The guy who looks like a character from a Coen Brothers movie.
Mm-hmm. Sonny Bono's poor brother.
It's like the direction is like, it's like the tech rehearsal of a community theater play.
Yeah. Kill a shack. Now he sounds Boston. Whoa. He means it.
We changed location for no reason.
Oh no, wait, what happened?
I have a theory about why they had to go outside. I think
someone farted.
I think they only had that room booked until 2 p.m. They're just like, guys, we got to get out of here. The AV club are coming in.
Diner for Sharks. That's what this movie should have been called.
Yeah, the dialogue in this movie contains so many better titles than Cruel Jaws.
Whoa.
We're watching a commercial on TV. This movie.
Why are we watching commercials when we make out? This is our making out commercials.
That's a good question. Also, this movie doesn't care what media it lifts as its own. It's like a copyright lawyer's nightmare. It's like,
What is she wearing, by the way?
Filming a
that
TV.
Doesn't look like a regular bra. It looks like she's about to become, one of the precognitives. Okay, now it looks like more look more like a bathing suit there.
I'm surprised you remember her from the opening credits of this movie. Ugh. I seemed nice before, but I'm not because they forgot.
Billy's busy. We're fucking.
Why is the sound of what's going on the TV mic louder than the dialogue between the three actors?
Wow. that horn. Oh, so she was going to leave anyway?
I couldn't hear you over the sound of this commercial on TV. They must have marks literally like taped on the ground, because they hit the exact spot every time.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan knows more about sharks than the actual shark expert in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's actually the one person who knows what to do.
Yes! She has the only verifiable shark fighting information in this movie.
Yes, hit them on the nose. They don't like that.
Quickly, she falls asleep.
She went to sleep so quick.
She's a narcoleptic. If my kid fell asleep that quickly, I started reading to them. I would take them to the door. I would carry them out and take them straight to the hospital.
Did we check his hands? Did he have a needle while he started reading that story?
Admittedly, Hulk Hogan's voice is very boring.
Yeah, that's true. Just like everybody else in this movie. Now, why she was being a total asshole before. She's yelling at him, and yet she had plans to leave anyway.
Yeah. It gets worse. I want to dance is not something you say when you're already dancing. I want to dance. You are dancing. The dialogue in this movie is like Tourette's.
I want to
dance.
Well, may I congratulate you then? You are dancing.
This looks like the best 80s party ever. Unfortunately, it's 1995.
Can we talk about the guy's hair to the right?
Oh, you know what? I think he might become a character at some point.
What?
I'm glad you spotted him, because I think he becomes pretty damn important in the story.
Is that the guy that was going to poison the fish?
Yeah.
I mean, the dolphins?
You probably...
He did put poison in the fish. He wanted to poison the dolphins.
I like that you adjusted that. It's like, oh no, he did commit a very bad crime. Yeah.
I've never seen anybody with such thin hair shave the sides of his head, but have long hair.
You probably didn't recognize him because he was dressed in black in that blue night.
Right.
He was difficult to spot because of all the blue filter and black turtleneck he was wearing.
Oh, she fell for it.
Yeah.
There he is.
There he is. Coming into frame. Going to be important later. Or maybe that's another blonde guy. I don't know.
No, I think I used to have a shirt like that, striped shirt.
I hate to say it, but for all this guy's acting inadequacies, he's nailed the portrayal of nerd fish doctor.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, no actual substance behind that because he doesn't know anything about fish, but...
He sure showed his upsetness.
There we go. We're back to the blue light.
Back to blue filter.
Blue night. Blue filter night. So, blue filter nights. Coming to CBS this fall. Did you notice there that the girl with the short hair flirtatiously kicked that guy in the nuts?
No.
Just as like, da 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 da, hey! Like, I've never seen that before. I mean, I like feisty women, but...
They're like...
There are so many characters in this movie. There's more characters in this movie already than the entire Jaws franchise. I've never seen two people
so passionately kiss when they're not actually kissing.
Well, the sound made up for that with the sort of wet slap sound. There's nothing more fun than playing hide and go seek around two interlock wind sails. I was just going to say,
I've never played these beach games before.
Come on, let's go do the first scene of Jaws again.
I was just going to say, how many times are we going to get this scene?
It's like there's some kind of fetishistic foreplay based on role-playing scenes from Jaws. It's night. It shouldn't be warm. If the water's warm at night, well, I know she's probably right because it's day.
By the way, that is not a tiger shark or a bull shark or whatever they said this fucking shark was. That's a great white shark.
I think all the sharks that you'll see are great whites. Oh, Mullet's son is called Ronnie, by the way.
This is straight out of Jaws 3D.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Attention.
Oh God, you're right. It is.
Yeah.
I didn't even clock that.
P.S. It's daytime, so you could see me perfectly.
You know how you said, did he say Samuel Loomis? He said Samuel Lewis, but that's a little close to Samuel Loomis.
All right.
No, I'm not having to go at you. I'm having to go at the movie for not thinking of a name of like that's different from a famous horror character. Is that Jaws? Does that happen in Jaws with the buoys? I think it does, right?
Not with the buoy, but the plank. Like when the two guys put the roast.
Okay. Bruno, I'll let you have that one. It was more of a variation on an idea.
Yeah. Oh.
Literally not one more second of that shot could be seen, or we'd see it sink to the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, I go off and hang out with my brothers, Harpo, Chico, and Zeppo. Why have a map in the movie and then cut away the second someone says, as you can see?
Right.
I don't think you can net open water like that.
Unless, of course, the shark is already inside the area. Not unlike Jaws 3D, the shark is already in the park.
I love the fact that first of all, they invent a way of netting open water that couldn't possibly be real. And then they say
we're going to need a bigger helicopter than that.
They say things that make you think that it's not going to work anyway.
Mako shark.
Well, you might recognize the dialogue that's coming up.
Mm.
Not from Jaws, actually. It's the beach scene from Jaws, except we can't afford to put anyone on the beach.
It looks like we're about to do Jaws 2, though.
Yes.
It's just bluefish.
Is the dog supposed to be seeing that stock footage of a
shark? Right.
That's a dog eye view, everyone. Maybe that was his like defense in court. Bruno Mattei was like, I was just showing you what the dog would see.
I'm going to throw my boy, possibly girl, into the water here. See what that gets me.
I don't know whether this tourist is supposed to be from Britain or Australia, but he's massacring both accents.
You're saying that we came all this way and it's moved on? This city can't even control where the sharks swim?
He can't even slap his kid properly. That's how bad an actor he is. And that kid is called Ronnie. There's already a character called Ronnie in the movie. Isn't that like an unwritten rule of screenwriting? You're not supposed to name two characters the same thing.
Yeah, right? What is it going to be, a whale?
I'm gonna watch. I can see the movie Jaws through this telescope.
Did that shark leap out of the way of the bullet? Did it dodge the bullet?
Well, you got to remember that that shark is existing in another time and space from
That's true.
the helicopter. It's difficult to get, another two movies to match up like that. Yeah.
That was the most authentic line he's had this whole movie.
I'm going to run out of shot because that's what we do in these movies.
Let's go. Let's go.
Follow the sheriff.
Oh, definitely Jaws.
I love the
Quiet,
fact
cripple.
I love the fact that Susie, she's got a marine biologist on one side, her dad on the other, and she rightfully asks her dad the shark question.
Yeah, right?
This girl knows what's going on. Something familiar about this scene. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't quite place it.
It
All
does
we
have
need now is to hear a what?
as if to underline how closely everyone's standing to each other. There are three people in between those two people. Hey, let me stand unnaturally close to you.
Don't talk rubbish. I'm going to use that in my everyday life now, from now on.
It's weird the times they choose to mix up the language versus the time they don't. So people talk about ripping off balls about 50 times in this movie, but they say garbage and rubbish. As if like,
Hey, he just said the Cuban. They were Cuban.
There you go. Well,
all those white guys were
like
Cuban.
With names like Paco and what was the other one?
Jose.
Paco and Jose.
Those three white guys were all Cuban.
Those three Italian white guys.
Yeah.
We all remember how that scene from Jaws ends. Instead of cutting open the shark, they go over to a boat and talk about dynamite fishing.
Yeah.
They didn't even let Half Mayor say his line before they went to the regatta. Is this Jaws regatta? You wouldn't bet against it.
Are you seeing the flag I'm seeing?
I don't know. I can't remember anything about Jaws.
No, there's no regatta.
Okay. There's no regatta in Jaws?
No.
I'm sure there's a regatta.
Well, you're wrong.
Oh. That kid's dead now. I'm glad we got that in-depth wind sailing sports commentary so we know what the real stakes are in this scene in a shark movie.
Yeah, you got to get the wind behind you.
I don't think any sports commentary should begin with, as you know, as you know, he just scored a goal. As you know, Ronaldo is a football player.
Which motherfucker?
The shark.
All right.
First of all, he's a tiger shark who looks exactly like a great white.
Yeah. And a Mako.
He's able to change his. He's a shape-shifting shark.
He can shapeshift. Fucking stealthy bastard.
In which case, I agree with him. He is acting strangely. They're putting so much.
Wait, wasn't that guy with the other? With
yeah,
the
but she was doing it to piss off nerd fish doctor Billy. And I'm talking about the grown-up Ronnie, not that kid from with the British Australian parent. I love this not Gloria Estefan music in the background.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Let's go find Billy. The guy... Is Billy the shark guy?
I wonder if Bruno Mattei hadn't visited America since 1985 and he was just like extrapolating that all the same fashions and trends were still there.
More ball ripping.
There's your drinking game. I know you like to do drinking games for How Dare You movies. Anytime anyone mentions balls.
I mean, balls get mentioned. Take a drink.
If you want to do like an... If you want to take it...
On this movie, I won't ask Chew first.
If you want to take it easier, you could only drink when they mention ripping off balls, which is about 50-60% of the balls references. This is like the pod race before the pod race.
Oh.
It costs a lot of money to invent something that doesn't exist. You hear that music?
No, it's amazing. Oh, abrupt cut.
It's fun. Like when most people try and like sort of circumvent copyright for music, they create a composition that is more or less the same but noticeably different. Yeah. They've just gone for, we'll do Jaws, but we'll play it off key with what sound like broken instruments. If you just kind of like came into the room when this scene was on, you'd think this movie was about a wind sailing race. Foiled.
Oh, now we got Miami Vice. Oh, never mind.
It's like someone's hit.
It's more like Weekend at Bernie's.
Someone's hit the Bangles setting on their Casio keyboard.
I wonder if that guy was actually in the water. Not in the water. As a
rule, I don't trust anything that's underwater in this movie. If it's underwater, I'm pretty sure it comes from another movie. Someone in the studio... How
did he get on the other side of him all of a sudden?
You're not trying to follow the continuity of this, are you, Mike?
Yeah, you're right. My bad.
Someone's doing like live sound mixing. It sounds like it's turning the volume up and down of the music.
Now that was a great shot. What a delight. Oh, just biting holes into nets.
They could make this like a meta masterpiece. Wait a minute. They could make this a meta masterpiece if like someone was underwater and went, "Hey guys, there's a whole nother movie happening down here."
Yeah.
like Monty Python and the
Look at that
Surrounded
buoy.
by Film sketch. Some of these extras are just throwing themselves into the water unprompted. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who the people acting this scene knew what was going on. That's Jaws, right? That's got to be.
Huh?
That fin is Jaws, right?
No, that's all Jaws 2. That's Jaws 2. That's Jaws 2. Oh my. That looked like Jaws 2.
I don't want to speak too highly of ourselves, but this commentary that we're doing now should be on the new Blu-ray of this movie because this is exactly the kind of context you need.
That was awesome.
You know that we're going to appear on the court case for this movie at some. We're going to be like Exhibit D in
no, I'm more like
in the people versus Bruno Mattei, aka William Snyder.
I would really like to stop seeing Confederate flags. Fuck's sake.
That works as a general statement, but also about this movie.
Yes. Now, are these guys going to come down and say, get back in the water and race?
It's okay.
That's great.
Let's get you as near the water as we can, Susie.
Oh, now that's from Jaws 3.
They really don't care who they rip off, do they? Wow.
Oh, it's so great that we have like what looks like the sugar you would use to make cotton candy as the blood. For a half a second there, I was going to say, now that looks good. Actual shark footage. That was Jaws 2.
Wow.
Swallow them whole.
And now we're just seeing legs. What a way to, like, the extras are not doing what I want them to do. Just film their legs. How did Susie, she was at a safe distance from the water.
She was like so far away from the water.
Like what minute ago. Unless you actively push her in the water, there's no way she's in any danger.
Let me tell you what happens when somebody who can't use their legs falls in the water. They sink.
Well, except Susie, because she can, when she goes into water, her legs magically work. Susie's safe. But the person who rescued her might not be.
Yeah, that's all Jaws 2 stuff right there. She did that all on her own. What?
Cliffhanger. Did she get eaten or didn't she?
How deep is the water right next to land?
That's true. Yeah, that pier would be in the sea. It's kind of, I don't know. Is it a good idea to deny us the pleasure of a kill in a shark kill in a shark movie?
Right.
By cutting away from it? God, even these orderly extras look awkward. And all they're doing is pushing a gurney.
Momentary shock. That's Jaws.
It is?
Yeah.
Also, did you know her legs actually work?
Yes, her legs work.
Her legs got better, by the way.
She's dead.
Do you think he's telling the truth or not? Because we don't know. We didn't see her die.
No, we didn't. As far as we know, she got dragged under.
Because if she is dead, I don't know how he's going to walk back saying that she's fine and home with Billy.
Right?
So then the next day he has to say to her, oh, you know when I said that she was fine and home with Billy? Well, no, she died in front of your eyes, eaten by a shark, and Billy was actually 2 feet away when I said that. They all look like they don't know what's coming next, but given this is an exact scene from Jaws, you could figure it out.
This was the best take.
Everyone in the background must be like, are they doing a site-specific piece of theater recreating the movie Jaws?
Yeah, right. You mean...
So
offer it.
So
offer the reward,
so
even
Vanessa
if you're not going
is
to pay
dead.
it.
I want to know more about this anal fin that they're pointed out prominently on the diagram. There's a t-shirt, anal fin.
Anal fin.
Or a band name. Hello, we are Anal Fin.
Homicidal?
Na Macarena. Na Macarena. Watch out for that anal fin. It'll get you
For
every
a second
time.
there, I thought he was going to rip his shirt off.
WrestleMania!
I'm about to go wild on you.
Once again, Hulk Hogan is leading the lecture on sharks, not the marine biologist.
Yeah. So are all these people that hate each other going to band together?
Yeah. Hey, remember that thing about New York? Remember how we said he looked like maybe he was a drug dealer?
Oh shit! I thought he was going to be. I thought they were setting up him as Quint. No, I thought he was in the hospital.
Yes, that's what I thought the first time too. But no, it's a mafia subplot, obviously.
Which is actually a subplot from the actual Jaws book.
No, really?
Yeah.
I actually have the note that...
Or maybe I'm thinking, maybe I'm conflating, because that was a subplot of Jaws 2, right?
The mafia?
Yeah, there was like... I can't remember if it was the movie or the book now.
I don't think it's the movie.
Maybe not the mafia, but wasn't there like... Oh, I forget that actor's name. The guy who's on Days of Our Lives.
Ronnie must have been shit playing hide and seek as a kid.
Right?
He's very prominent on those stairs when he was supposed to be hiding.
He could totally be seen.
And when he came down the stairs, it went ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. I'll get him, 5-year-old dad.
Yeah. There was a mafia subplot in the book.
In the book, yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. They're just, it's not plagiarism at all. They're just bringing out subplots that Spielberg was too short-sighted to see should have been in the movie originally. Cool, big gun.
Yeah, I know, right? 12 gauge. Cool.
Okay, so it's just...
Do you know how to use it? Never mind. It's cool. Oh, this is totally... Well, at first they were totally going for the music when the orca leaves.
She has Pan Dulce on her
Pan
shirt.
Dulce.
More local advertising.
Star Wars?
Yes!
What?
Fucking Star Wars! As if John Williams as if another fuck you to John Williams was needed.
John Williams needs to die so he can roll over in his grave.
By the way, I was wrong. It was a totally different blonde guy earlier that I was thinking of.
I so want to go back and see that shotgun again. He cocked that shotgun like a half an inch.
Hulk, you're gonna have to speak louder over this radar.
Right?
We can't hear what you're saying because the radar is mic'd too loud.
Amazing.
Beep!
Oh my God.
I think for the rest of the commentary, I should just every time you speak, I should just go beep, beep.
That's another drinking game. Every time you can't hear dialogue because something in the
no,
background's too fucking loud.
I love that the movie's equivalent of the shark hunt.
Oh, this is Jaws.
Yeah. Yes. I love that the movie's equivalent of the last half hour of Jaws is that everyone goes out on the water mad world style.
Yeah, exactly.
And these aren't even the only people who go out on the water. We haven't even seen the full amount of people who go hunting for the shark yet. Now the dolphins are too fucking loud.
Right.
Loud are those dolphins.
Did she just say she's tired of these fucking dolphins? Is that what she said?
Can somebody turn down the dolphins, please? The dolphins are too loud. Yes, I am a William Snyder. Yeah, that's a totally different blonde guy. We've never seen him before.
Who is this guy exactly?
And I love that we have a totally new character in exactly the same demographic as everyone else in the movie.
See, he's dodging fucking bullets again.
It's okay. He'll just transform.
I gotta tell you, the effects work on that shotgun is amazing.
I think we got a big size disparity there again.
Yep.
The shark is the same length as the boat. Yeah, use the propeller to remove his anal fin.
Now that shark will just have a distinguishing feature.
This is the point of the movie where it sort of dawned on me, like it sort of creeped up on me like a bad wrestling move, that Hulk Hogan is the Quint of this movie. He's also in his own little adaptation of Moby Dick with the harpoon.
I love that Hulk Hogan is calling the shark expert an idiot.
My daughter Susie knows more about you than sharks, as this screenplay will attest to. For me, this scene really captures the cruel in Cruel Jaws.
Yeah, it does.
You'll see why in a minute.
What is he identifying with it?
Yeah, he's developing a sense of humanity, which is something that normal movies would reward someone for. Stop being so fucking human, you mulleted piece of shit!
You have shown...
Stop transcending your circumstances! That'll teach me to identify with animals.
That guy needs a swimming lesson or two. That's from Jaws.
His voice got really high. Oh.
That's from Jaws.
There goes Ronnie 1.
That's from Jaws. Oh no. What have you done? That's from Jaws 2.
I gotta say.
What the hell was that?
Everyone has a lot of theories about what happened. Everyone has a lot of detailed theories about what happened very quickly.
Right.
But I bet no one could guess that it was a flare gun gasoline self-explosion. Oh, this is my favorite bit of acting from this cop. Look how he's weirdly resting one finger on the desk.
On the
Oh, I think.
How does he know there were no survivors?
Sadly, I think it's the last we'll see of High Geordie LaForge.
How does he know there are no survivors? The people on the boat that were probably less than 10 miles away from that explosion had several wild theories as to what happened. Yet he knows exactly what happened and that there are no survivors.
He's high. He's like, I can just tell no one survived.
Let me try doing the same exact thing you did.
Right. Sometimes there's so much dynamic movement in each shot. It's kind of like ballet. They're like ballet dancers. They're moving so dynamically, crossing each other. The choreography, because these movies, like, they do their own pan and scan, right? They're like, they have one shot and they zoom in and out or to the side. So the actors have to be like dancers coming in and out of the shot.
Man, we really had ourselves quite a debate there as to who should do this. That kid took it out of their hands.
Did they not bring like breathing equipment?
I was just going to say the same thing. And he decides to dive in with nothing to breathe with.
Billy's radar will tell him if he's in danger or not. It'll go, help, help, help. I forgot my snorkel. I need to be down there more than 1.5 minutes.
Like a giant shark?
Yeah, I did. There's a bunch of Jaws movies down there. Like all of them. Here's your helicopter action. I think. No, actually, we're not at the helicopter set piece yet.
That was great.
They've seriously failed to overdub Billy's lines.
The Cleveland was the ship that.
He's like,
listen, we'll talk about it later.
He looks like he's acting in his own time zone. His dubbing is so off.
Oh, this is the first couple of helicopters that
they're actually from this movie.
That weren't from the 1908, the aughts.
That weren't from Force 10 to Navarone.
Yeah.
Yep, Sheriff not Brody.
Sheriff's got his fucking FBI jacket on.
Yeah. He's getting in the helicopter. This is your Lance Hendrickson moment of zen. moment of not zen. There's nothing but Italian shark movies down there.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm a helicopter. There's not really much I can do about it. I fly.
Now we're starting to see repeated shark moments from this movie.
Yes. And Jaws 2 a little bit, right? And Piranha 2.
Oh yeah. I mean all from other movies, but we're seeing them for the second time in this movie.
This movie, yeah.
What's he going to do with this? Why are you putting a hook on it?
But this is magic chum.
They're planning to pull the shark out of the water with that chopper? That's the plan?
But they didn't anticipate how much that chum would grow in size as it dropped down.
I was just going to say, every time they fucking put something on a hook, it's always a different piece of meat when it hits the water.
Yeah, but it's obvious what happened. It absorbed the moisture in the Florida air as it dropped.
Why would he say meters?
Because it's an Italian movie, Mike.
Exactly.
It's written by an Italian.
Again,
everything's going
something
to
we
plan.
just saw 5 minutes ago.
Everything's going to plan so far. This is the best that we can hope for with this plan.
all I kept thinking was, why didn't he put a stick of dynamite in that fucking carcass?
The chum worked too well, if anything.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Well, do it. Don't say it.
Yeah. When you're gonna shoot, shoot. Don't talk. Everything was going fine until he inexplicably launched himself into the water.
Wow. Oh, hard cut. Hard cut.
I love that you're still surprised by hard cuts. Here we go. We're back to the mafia.
Oh,
subplot.
so we're back to this fucking plot line?
Hey, they tie it into the movie masterfully at this point. How do you think the mafia are going to figure in the rest of this movie?
I hope they kill this guy.
Yeah. Well, we're from New York.
Wait, what?
I'm gonna send those two guys to kill the shark.
They look like the best choice.
These gangsters don't look like New York gangsters or Chicago gangsters, apparently, is where they're from now.
That guy on the left looks like he's a jockey.
Do you know my theory about who these guys are? First of all, the boss is a British policeman. And then those two guys are an Arnie lookalike and a Danny DeVito lookalike who get hired to do Twins. They come as a package deal to do the movie Twins. Hey, say what you want about Mr. Burns. At least he can slap his kid. Not like that British Australian guy. Oh, Ronnie. I just broke out of community theater jail. I'm just going to I just came back from my shift at Foot Locker. And other one-liners. Top secret naval experiments. Do you know what the best thing about this movie is, Mike?
Fucking dad didn't plan on the door that leads to the outside from her fucking room.
The plot of this movie is the exact plot of my picture sequel for the Jaws series.
Well, hang on.
Yeah, top secret naval experiments.
Didn't yours involve time travel and Nazis?
Now you're caricaturing it. Did involve Nazis, not time travel. Those are flashbacks. It's not time travel.
Oh, my bad. In cahoots.
In cahoots. There's some.
Oh,
there's
that's right. I left my crippled daughter all alone at the aquarium. What was he going back for?
He comes back in to turn the light off. That was the only inkling I ever got that this movie is self-consciously comic, was when he comes back in to turn the light switch off. It seemed too airplane.
Wow.
Yep. One seal. I've done all my stock taking. One seal.
Check and make sure there's 2 dolphins. All right, they're all here.
Oh my God.
Just once I want that guy to say, "What you gonna do when the pythons run wild on you?"
I want Party Arnie to say, "I need your clothes.
Your clothes, give them to me.
Talk to the hand." Because he's T3 Arnie, not T1 Arnie.
At best. What about them? We'll leave them here. Those guys got Mr. Mom 1 punch punched out.
Yeah. Turn the light back on. Funnily enough, turning the light off didn't deter those criminals from taking
help.
my. I also like to think.
Wait, now it sounds like we got Axel F going.
So Party Arnie's wearing booty shorts
wow,
and Donnie DeVito's wearing a Hawaiian onesie. I like to think that girl said cahoots because she was hanging around with 1930s style gangsters.
Yeah.
She overheard. They're in cahoots, see?
Yeah.
A, B, see? Look like you're busy. Look like you're doing things.
Man, we stayed on that guy for a long time for no reason.
That was almost as bad as the lip balm. And now we're just trying to get a engine
they're
going.
They're back at land? They're not.
They're on a boat. Oh, they just said so. The Party Arnie and Donnie DeVito sabotaged their boat. That's what they were doing.
Yeah, but they were on the sea when it broke.
Your guess is okay. Then your guess is as good as mine. He was in the Marines.
Fucking that guy in the moo-moo.
They could have rescued that scene if it said, I was in the marina. Just a marina. Just now.
I don't see how any of this could possibly go wrong for him.
What, with these guys? These professionals?
Yeah.
Who have been hired by that British policeman? Even the little girl has her own PG-13 balls reference. Give that shark a punch in the nuts. I'm telling you, it's a motif. This should be called Cruel Balls. If only we knew how close that shark was to him, because the movie is giving us no indication of in relation.
We could see that it's near a cage, which is not what he's in.
This is another one of those reverse film school movies, I think. Like, I could use this in a lesson about the 360 rule.
Wait, he shot.
He's
shooting wildly all over the place. Yeah. But nowhere near the shark because they're not in the same place.
He's angry about his daughter Matilda. Even the boat is the third of something. It's a sequel boat. The Privateer 3. This time it's a boat. You're hearing the music.
So they're hired pirates.
Star Wars.
Fucking Star Wars again. Jesus.
And I think... Tell me that's not Indiana Jones. They just added on to that Star Wars. It goes da 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 da, and then stops.
Oh, now I'm getting a Superman vibe.
Superman 2.
Yeah.
Literally adding insults to all of John Williams' injuries. Hey, John Williams, here's some salt for your wounds. We've added another blonde guy. Oh, no, we haven't. Have we added another
same blonde?
Do we know all these guys?
But wait, do I know that guy?
I don't know.
You heard me.
I wonder if that guy actually was a wrestler. Maybe he was a Hulk Hogan lookalike.
Right?
Because he does the pointy talking thing too. That's a Hulk Hogan thing, isn't it? Or it's a wrestler.
Yeah.
It's a wrestler thing. You don't talk to someone, you point at you push them in the chest.
So we're showing establishing shots.
Yes.
Of how deep the wreckage is. Yet Terminator 3 Schwarzenegger got bitten inside the wreckage and then was found
Stingray
above the surface of the water, right, so that Danny DeVito could
I like Danny DeVito. Let's do Danny DeVito. That's perfect. You mean Danny DeVito? No, I don't.
No, I mean Danny DeVito.
And Danny DeVito and Rise of the Machines.
He's part Danny DeVito, part Ghostbusters 2 villain.
The stingray and the octopus just goes to show this film is interested in practically all marine life except sharks.
Yeah, right.
I hate to say it, but this underwater sequence is kind of normal, like a real movie. And as such, it is lousy and it drags. As with all underwater sequences. I love that the only part of the movie that's like a real movie is the most boring thing you could put in a movie.
Yeah.
Da, na, 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 na. They might as well put the music from Thunderball in. I mean,
I was gonna say,
like, why stop now? Is that Billy with the? No, who's that? No, that's one of the Hogan kids, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he's spoken since that opening
scene. Did they not take this down the first time?
I don't think that guy's spoken since he threatened to rip that not Mayor's, Mr. Burns man's balls off.
Yeah. What is that? What's going on?
Is
that the detonator? And why would you take it down to the water?
It's that box from The Fifth Element, and just trying to get it as far away from humanity as possible.
I don't understand. What's the...
No, I don't understand. I mean, that's par for the course with all these underwater sequences.
What's the wreckage have to do with any of this?
That's his home. It's like his nest, because he was created there. He was an experiment who was created there. This is all headcanon. This is not necessarily
When did we learn he was an experiment?
Top secret naval experiments on the Cleveland created him. which is why he's acting so strangely. Why he keeps changing from a tiger shark to a great white
to a mako.
To a mako. To an orca.
Possible.
Better turn whatever that is on, or it won't work.
Yeah.
It won't do the thing that we don't know what it is. Looks like everyone's just trying to hit the fin. Like, that's not the target, guys. The target is everything under the fin, and not the anal fin.
Well, how do you, like, there's no danger in them getting back to the surface?
Well, that shark is in another temporal reality, so...
That's true.
It's got a long way to go. It's got to get through the void first. It's got to pass through the mirror universe.
That's fucking Jaws 3D right there.
Yeah. That I do recognize. It's weird. You don't hear much. It's so funny. Like, the Jaws sequels are considered so lowbrow compared to the original that you don't even hear about them getting ripped off in this movie. In the same way you hear about Jaws
3D right there. He's getting in the door.
Or is it that people didn't notice and assumed that it was just this movie?
Yeah.
It's kind of sad either way. Makes me feel better about having covered it.
Oh, you don't want to put on your scuba gear before you get in the water?
Apparently no, but I don't think they... It's like, well, we should have brought more than one suit.
I gotta tell you, if I get in the water and I'm able to plant the shit, I'm like, I'm done. I clocked out. Unless it was you down there, Tom, I'd go back for you.
Well, I should have brought my scuba gear.
Put that fucking scuba gear on. Oh man, yeah.
I'm not wrong in thinking that this deliciously terrible movie has taken a bit of a nosedive here, right? Like, this is Prometheus bad movie.
Well, yeah, like what?
This
like
is
what's happening here?
This is big bad. This is the Bob Dylan of bad
Why are
movies.
we saying that the third guy was stuck down there? Because all this guy did was point to the door, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll go out the door."
Whatever they're doing, they all have to go in one at a time.
Yeah.
So that's Billy. Okay. Oh, swimming. Nothing's.
Jaws.
Why is he? He's just out of breath. But didn't he have breathing equipment on? Okay, I don't know. He was riding that shark.
He got up there so fast.
Well, we got the scuba equipment. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Push the boy back in.
This stuff's expensive. I've got a SeaWorld to run. I gotta say, that's a deeply underwhelming final kill.
Wow.
A toy rips in half and three dudes high five in a tight 3 shots.
And then, of course, stolen footage from the original Jaws again.
Let's ape and then ape the exact ending of Jaws 3D.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the real star of the movie, Sidney Seal. They don't even give the seal a name.
Hey, there's a second seal. The fucking 10 people watching this are really enjoying it. Of course, 5 of them actually work at this amusement park.
It's just like this movie to randomly introduce a seal that hasn't yet been introduced.
Yeah.
And there's a nice stalk in the background. Speaking of things happening twice in a movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah. mean, I agree. He's the real star of the movie, and it's the encore we all wanted to see.
We are still violently pushing in on shots.
Look how manic this laughter gets. And we're starting the movie over again, apparently.
Yeah. What?
We're doing a sequel within the movie.
Oh, what a delight.
It's the Tom Williams Orchestra. John Williams? No.
Head thug. Thug 1 and Thug 2 have names, Matt and Bud.
If you were to ask me, like, what's the musical motif of this movie, I'd be like, anything that offends John Williams.
Yeah.
Just mash it all up. Da da da.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. I better not do that because then we can't put it on fucking YouTube. Copyright claim. Oh, for fuck's sake. Maybe we'll get a copyright claim just talking about this movie.
Oh, yeah, right? Gonna upset the powers that be. What are we going into ET now?
That's right. The guy who created the shark effects was called Ernest Stark. Once again, like Geno Swark, they just like anyone who sounds like Shark gets to work on a shark movie.
Hire that man.
Wow, the foam tech people must have had a lot to do. And the plaster foreman. Must have been non-stop. Okay, casting, Jock Cleveling. Extras casting, John Cleveling and co. casting. Were Jock Cleveling's too good to cast the extras?
The sound digital crew.
I'd love it if when it said second unit crew, it just listed the crew from Jaws. Spielberg, Michael Moore, Carl Gottlieb.
The people doing the sound for this movie need some extra love because they made their presence felt. They're like, fuck you, dialogue.
Yeah, by randomly turning the volume up and down.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta say, I think European Communications and Production Group is beaten by International Recording, who did the sound for this. An even faker sounding company. I work for International Recording.
Assistant to props. It's good to know the prop master had an assistant.
That sounds like he's an
production
assistant.
Insurance. I can't believe that this production had any kind of insurance.
Soundtrack album available on Flipper
CDs and cassettes. Is
that some sort of mammalian marine life?
They want to thank Sinking World, Oceanographic Studio. I see they're not thanking Jaws, Jaws 2, Jaws 3 in any way, shape, or form.
Artificial animals have been used in some sequences. Now, if ever there was something you didn't need to put in the credits. Yeah, that copyright paragraph is predictably long and goes by faster than the rest of the credits. It's also proposing that some of this is based on real events. Unless the real event they're talking about is the movie Jaws. That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah, these movies were released, so they are.
Oh, what a delight.
Well, what do you think?
Masterful.
Yeah. So here's where I still come down after seeing it twice. I nearly talked myself out of it, but that underwater sequence. Without hesitation, I'd say it's so bad it's good.
Oh, yeah.
I would say it's too long.
Absolutely. It's way too long.
And there are a couple of moments in it that are average enough, that it holds it back just from being a reverse masterpiece.
Yeah.
Like if this was 75, 80
but
minutes,
it could be a reverse masterpiece if it was like an hour 15,
Yeah.
hour 20.
That's
max.
exactly what I think. And if it, I guess if that last underwater sequence had some,
wasn't such an abomination.
Yeah, wasn't just like, but an abomination just because of how bland it is.
Yeah.
Compared to the rest of this batshit crazy movie,
Yeah.
which is a delight. So that's the only thing that I think holds it back from like The Room for me. Is like not every it's too long, it drags, and not every element is perfectly bad. Like
correct.
80% of it is for sure.
Yes.
Like, or 90% of it even.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And the only other question I had was about like intentionality. Is there any like?
Well, I'd like to know if Shark Scientist's girlfriend is actually alive or dead.
Oh, they did. They said you have Vanessa. You have to answer for Vanessa. So she did die.
Oh, that was a line?
Yeah, he said you have to answer for Vanessa. That's the only clarification we got, that she was actually dead, and we didn't see her again. Again, okay. I'm putting 2 and 2 together. She might be.
But Dad lied.
She might at the very end of this movie. She might kind of like. Just like drift to shore like Roy Scheider and Richard Dreyfuss. It will probably be Richard Dreyfuss and Roy Scheider from the original with a wig. No, she died. She died for sure.
All right.
But yeah, my biggest point was like, how does Hulk Hogan backtrack from that? How does he tell? Because he didn't say like, oh, we're doing everything we can for her. Or like,
he said she's fine, honey.
He said she's fine, and Billy's with her, and Billy was just behind him. She's like, I'm not stupid. I know you punch a shark in the nose to get rid of it.
Right.
I'm the only person in this movie who knows that.
So let's do this. I think we're already probably answering this question right now, but best actor in the movie.
The Seal. Sidney Seal.
Okay. Best human actor in the
hired Geordie LaForge.
Who's that?
The cop.
No.
The African. What do you mean by best? It's my favorite actor in the movie.
What about the little girl?
What about the little girl?
She's better than that cop.
What do you mean by better? Like that means a whole different thing in the context of this movie.
Well, I was gonna do best and worst.
Okay. Well, worst is weird one finger desk creep. He's the worst actor I've ever seen. Probably. He like his
Shark Expert's pretty bad though.
He's got a lot. I'll give him a pass because he's got they really work him with he has a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
And like even if he was good, what he was saying wouldn't sound convincing. So he gets a pass from me because I think he's doing the best he can.
The cop is close, I think. But that little girl
who's worse
seems like the most natural actor.
I'm still gonna go Seal. Apart from the fact that she's supposed to be paralyzed, and the first thing
it's not her. It's not the actor's fault that they keep throwing her in the water.
How do you know? Maybe William Snyder, aka Bruno Mattei, was going, "Hey, little girl, don't waggle your legs in the water."
I'm saying, don't put her in the water at all. I'll give a pass to the front scene because she's got a.
I'm trying to think. You know who
life preserver on?
Do you know who I think is kind of good in the sense that they might actually know what kind of movie they're in and are just having fun? Is the short-haired bikini girl who kicks that guy in the nuts?
Yeah.
Like every time she speaks, I sort of think like she's like, I can see on her face. It's like these guys are fucking idiots,
right?
Who are making this movie?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna have fun.
I hear you.
Yeah. But there's some pretty horrible acting going on here.
Oh yeah, but I mean, deliciously so.
But
It's
they're really I mean, like, I don't. It's like their brains are separate from their bodies, because they seem to a bit like they're amazing at hitting their marks, moving within frame is like really
well,
artfully
yeah,
done.
especially considering the frame is
Right.
this big.
And just like a question about that, because when I
Like,
was,
here's the frame, and you gotta.
it's like that Rorschach test of the, is it a lamp or is it two ladies? It's like every shot is like that. But because when I was watching it through, I was like, oh, obviously that makes sense because you save on set dressing and you don't use as much film. But then I was like, but do you really need to be that close though? I mean,
Yeah.
how much set dressing and film could you possibly be saving at this point?
Right.
And then that moment where there's like this much space between two people's faces,
Everyone.
and they fit three separate faces in between that. I mean, you can only admire that level of thrift, right? So yeah, it's but what they're actually doing is like ballet, as I said. It's just like
Right. Yes, absolutely.
And I guess it saves on pan and scan as well. You don't need to pan and scan this shit, do you? It's doing its own.
Yeah.
It's an unpan and unscannable movie. It's an unpannable and an unscannable movie. Yeah.
Oh man.
It's yeah, so I mean I'm watching it a couple of times, and I'm interested to know what you think about this, because I like to think that it might. There are a couple of moments that made me think that they're being self-conscious, but only a couple. And the majority of the time, I don't think they know how bad this is.
Yeah, I think that sounds right to me.
And my major evidence for this is that they do comedy bits that fall completely flat, and I think that's always a good sign that the movie doesn't know how that the movie is unintentionally bad if it has actual comic set pieces that are not funny. But everything around those set pieces is hilarious. So it makes me think it's mostly accidental, but I don't know, there's one or two moments where that are so. It's when he comes back into the office and turns the light off and goes outside. I feel like that feels like airplane. So good. I mean, that feels like an airplane gag.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe like that guy was just like, no, it'll feel more real if I go back in the room and turn the light off.
But it didn't make any sense because he walked like 2 steps past the light switch.
Yeah.
And then walked back to, and then retreated again and turned off the lights.
If you follow the logic of that scene,
he went like this. He went out of the room.
Yeah.
Imagine this. And then he went.
Yeah. But then the flip side of that is, I think he was being directed to draw attention to the fact they turned the light off because he thought that was an effective security measure against like
criminals,
mafioso coming in and stealing what are just drawings.
We never found out.
Tell you nothing.
Did we find out? Yeah, it has nothing to do with. I guess just because they found.
It's just a picture of a shark. It's not going to help you kill a shark.
It seemed didn't they have some sort of information about the sunken boat too?
Oh yeah, that's true. It wasn't the drawing.
Did we ever find out what happened to Danny DeVito?
Oh, he definitely got eaten, right?
I think we just see him shooting and then we hard cut and we never go back.
Did that boat not explode?
No, that was a different boat.
Well, there's your sequel. Donnie DeVito in Cruel Jaws 2. which only steals, which is like 25% footage from Cruel Jaws.
This is a movie you and I should make.
Well, as I said, my picture sequel was not dissimilar to this in story. I'm going to ask the expert now. I'm going to ask the Jaws expert. What
Mhm.
ratio of Cruel Jaws is some kind of Jaws movie? Like,
Okay, this movie is an hour and 34 minutes.
yeah,
I'll,
bafflingly.
I'll grant you that because it's like they purposefully they they take scenes from Jaws 2 and
Yeah.
Jaws 3D.
Yeah.
And but they do something weird too, where you're not seeing it for very long.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're
Yeah.
not seeing the whole a whole moment from those movies. You're just like snippets of snippets.
Yes.
But they also do a weird thing where they like put the like the blue filter or a green underwater filter or some kind of like haze filter on top of it.
Yeah.
And then they'll also do an askew thing. They'll go like this. They had a moment where the leg in Jaws drops down, the leg
Yeah.
of the guy in the pond drops down,
Yeah.
but you're seeing this corner of it
Interesting.
where you just see the leg fall into the left-hand corner of the screen and then it cuts quickly as opposed to seeing the whole leg drop in the middle of the screen,
It's like
which
the
is how what
experience
happens
of
in Jaws.
it's like the experience of actually watching a pirated movie, basically.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like it's like someone's holding the camcorder just
So
slightly off.
I mean, there's not more runtime than probably 2 or 3 minutes
Oh,
total
right.
of those movies because it's so short. But there are at least 50 cuts
Yeah.
of these movies in this movie.
Yeah. The reason I was laughing there, not at what you were saying, because it's really, really interesting. I just had a vision at the moment you said there's probably only 2 or 3 minutes. I had a vision of this recording pausing, a lawyer like pressing a remote in court, defense lawyer for Bruno Matteo going, there, there we have an expert witness saying there is only 2 to 3 minutes. That is not that is not enough,
That is not
to be
enough to put
copyrightable
my
material.
client in jail.
I rest my case. Boom.
Lionel Hutz rests.
So that's a really good point. But yeah, there must be at least, yeah, I think both those numbers are fairly accurate.
I'd like to go back and actually count.
Yeah, no one. You could do that because no one has.
Some are
like,
so murky that it's hard to see, and some are repeated.
Yeah.
Do
you think they actually put the film underwater?
Yeah, I don't know, but there's like at least somewhere between 3 and 6 times it looks like you're seeing the scene in Jaws 2 when the woman saves.
Yeah.
You know, when she's swallowed whole. And you see there's a shot of the shark kind of coming up like this. And you see that shot like 6 times in this movie. But it's so murky and done so weird that you're like, is that shot or is it that puppet?
Subterfuge.
But it's that shot. It's that, yeah.
Sequel subterfuge.
He's
the master of it. There's a reason he's gained this reputation. I was gonna say in Hollywood. He's not going anywhere near Hollywood. What are we talking about? He takes from Hollywood.
Amazing. I'm realizing right now that I probably have like no choice, but I'm probably watching this movie again today.
Yeah,
counting how many times.
I've never
so that I can report back to you.
Yeah, and I did a little bit of research, and it didn't look like anyone has compiled the official list yet of. But it's fascinating. A total revelation to me because if you look online, it will say it uses footage from Jaws. It doesn't say anything about it uses footage from every single Jaws movie.
You didn't catch it. You told me at the beginning that it just takes from Jaws, but
well, I'm a Jaws-nesiac, as well. You know, I can't retain any information that a Jaws movie gives me. I just also thought it was funny in light of what we always say about recapping footage in sequels. Like, Is this just like an extreme version of that? Like,
Mhm.
but sequels rely on material from previous movies.
Movies.
If this movie sees itself as a real Jaws movie,
This
which I think it does.
This
I think
movie
it,
is a living imbas.
yeah, exactly. This movie is an imbas. It must be a sequel.
It's an imbas Frankenstein come to life.
But it's kind of like, when you I don't know what the politically correct word for asylum is now, so I'm just going to say asylum. When you go to like those asylums.
Yeah, when you go to those,
I've been watching.
asylums.
I tell you what the problem is. R.I.P. I've been watching too many Norm Macdonald clips this week because I caught myself. I was going into when you go to those asylums. I don't know what the word is for. It's an asylum. It was totally Norm Macdonald. I'm channeling him from Beyond the Grave because he's so wonderful. University of Science. But there are like people in there who think they're celebrities. They think they're famous people. They've like actually internalized that they're George W. Bush or whatever. They think they've bombed Afghanistan and all that sort of stuff. That's a very specific example. I don't know why I used that. I could have just said like Oprah Winfrey, but no, I went straight to George W. Bush. And some guy
bombing Afghanistan.
Some guys in an asylum going ba-boom, ba-boom. But anyway, I think this movie is. I think Bruno Mattei or Mattei, whatever, William Snyder's trick.
Well, I was gonna say William
but
Snyder.
Justifying all this to himself is that he just kind of decides that it's a real sequel,
right,
in his head.
Yeah, he's suffering from a psychosis that helps him make this movie.
And again, you've already made the Seinfeld allusion to the close talker. I'm going to go with George Costanza's "It's not a lie if you believe it."
If you believe it.
And I genuinely, there's parts of this movie where I watch it and I think like the aspiration is there to almost like it's like tapping Spielberg on the shoulder. It's like, hey, I'm using your movie. Hey, I'm using your movie. I make movies too. Come, hey, Steven, I'm using your movie. And not just Jaws,
well,
Indiana Jones, Star Wars.
Could you watch this, please? It's like putting it in his hands and saying, you watch this.
It's like it's throwing it.
This is a fucking movie.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg's walking down the street. You're driving by. You throw the video out of the window. It hits him on the head.
Oh.
And he like forgets he made Jaws.
Right.
Of his head injury, and he puts it in going, hey, this is cool, look at this.
Pretty good.
Look, the bits underwater are particularly good. Yeah.
Well, what did you think of the enormous puppet?
It was huge, wasn't it?
Yeah. I kind of liked it though.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's fit for purpose. Right? I mean, it's how I wanted to, because obviously I have a problem where I can't remember Jaws movies, but you remember it more than other movies, so we're going to meet in the middle.
We balance each other out.
But there were moments when I was like, is this that much better than Jaws: The Revenge in terms of the model, in terms of the puppet, or Jaws 3D? I'm like, I don't remember them feeling very alive.
I'll say narrowly I give that to Jaws: The Revenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's almost like it's like how,
and that's saying something, because like underwater shots in Jaws: The Revenge, you can like they show the dorsal fin and you can see the seam
right
of the like back of the shark.
But that's the thing here. I like because it doesn't necessarily have to be intentionally bad to just own the fact that it's low budget and it's not. We're not trying to make it look real. Like there's so many shots in this movie where it doesn't even look like it can swim.
Yeah, no,
like it's not. Literally, you cut,
it's just
and seconds later it
slowly.
Sinks. Yeah, like you cut, sinking. And then it sinks right to the bottom.
Yeah,
in seconds.
It's just sinking.
And I sort of think it's like everything in this movie, like, that expressionistic montage at the beginning, that's not an artistic choice. That it's the best they can do with the footage they have. And
But
I feel like it's the same here.
So, because it's funny because there are two different puppets, really. So there's the one of just the head that keeps coming up out of the water, and then there's the full length one that they use underwater, which doesn't seem to have eyes or a mouth. It looks
Yeah.
like a dolphin that's been punched in the nose, and the nose has been smashed up to its face and then welded shut.
Yes.
And that's the one that
Looks
just sort of
like.
slowly sinks.
Looks like. You know what happened. Come on. They finished filming with those two dolphins and they brutally beat it, put it in. That's why it's not moving. It's dead. It's a dead dolphin.
Yeah.
Day of the Dead Dolphin.
But there are so many, like when they're underwater, when the boat that blows up and the propeller starts back up and starts, like that goes nowhere. The shark's injury.
Yeah, he just loses an anal fin. And I'm sure this will be, by the time you watch this, you'll probably heard the With Goalie and Rust episode. I guarantee you they're going to mention that the word claspers also appears.
Oh yeah, I've already listened to at least the first Jaws.
Yeah,
and that's it, I think.
And they talk about claspers.
Claspers.
The fact that claspers is a word spelled out but my eye was drawn towards the anal fin. That's
as it should be.
That's the essential difference between this podcast and that one. I'm more of an anal fin guy than a claspers guy. So elephant in the room. Better or worse than Jaws the Revenge? I guess I can take it for red that you don't think this is better than Jaws 3D.
God,
or Jaws 2, and I don't either. And I think I've said before on the podcast that I might even say Jaws 2 is a good movie these days, having been through the process of watching a lot of sequels. I think
because it
moves up. It's not good, but workmanlike means something different after all the fucking movies I've seen in the past year than it did when we first started. So yeah, but I
don't think I can put it above Jaws 4.
No, I think Jaws
Jaws the Revenge is
it definitely
and like, because this movie is so bad it's good, but as we also previously, I mean, that last scene really is a dragger.
It's terrible.
And it's not, I mean, it's just awful.
Yeah.
And it's too uneven in its so bad it's goodness.
I agree completely.
Especially based on that last scene that it can't rise above.
Yeah.
You know. So my argument, whenever we bring up the Jaws series, because I know that I
what's the Jaws series?
This
I have a problem.
When we first did Jaws, I declared good, bad, 2, 3, 4, and I also said in order 2, 3, 4, because Jaws 2 to me was by far the more competently made movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no.
But I prefer Jaws 3D to Jaws 2. So it's just funny early on to have to really wrestle with what matters to me. So the movie I like more is Jaws 3D.
Yeah.
But Jaws, because Jaws 3D is so bad it's good, it like jumped up for me.
It's just more spectacular as well. More like Jaws 2 is risk averse, whereas Jaws 3 is risk taking.
I'll say.
But I think, yeah.
So because something is so bad it's good, it can jump up, but I personally didn't list Jaws 3 above Jaws 2 in my rankings.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And I will not list this above Jaws 4. I had said my argument was that like Jaws 2 is too competently made comparing Jaws 2 to 3. Jaws 4 is too competently made for this movie.
Yes. Well, yeah, I absolutely agree. It wouldn't change my rankings, but there's a nice little, if you add this on to the end of the series, it got a nice little trilogy of crazy ass movies from 3 to Jaws 5. if
Yeah.
you want to call this that.
Yeah.
Like this kind of channels the batshit craziness of those last two Jaws movies in a way that would make watching
If
them
you
as a
include
trilogy.
this movie in the series, the downward slope of the series is pretty delightful.
Yeah.
Because they
Although
keep getting worse and worse and worse, but they're still fun to watch. They're still they can still be bad good.
on the level of ideas and as sequels, if you set aside quality for a second, I don't think this is better or worse than the choices made in Jaws 3D and Jaws the Revenge. They're all stupid choices to for sequel. Like
What, to base a movie on?
Yeah. So and this is
well, this I don't know that this movie makes any choices that weren't already previously made for it.
It's really funny that
sub 4th of July weekend for, or rather sub regatta for 4th of July weekend. They're just taking everything from the other movies.
Well, that's it. I mean, the only thing
the other movies have actual ideas,
Yes.
whether they work or not. This movie has no ideas.
Yeah, I was really pinning my hopes on that mafia subplot, so I'm very sad to find out that was part of the original Jaws premise. That's a shame because I was like, well, Spielberg didn't think of this, did he? But I guess he did, but he dismissed it out of hand.
Yes,
Said, that's not something we need in like a that's not something we need in our 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
We got enough going on. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, I don't know. Anything left for you on Cruel Jaws? Other than go see it, ladies and gentlemen.
Which implies that you need to go somewhere to see it. You will never have to.
I know, that's true.
Just turn on you literally can turn on your TV and this. I don't know if I would love to watch this ironically, I would love to watch this in a theater with a bunch of people.
Yeah. I would love that.
But it would feel a little bit too much like keeping a bit too Blackfish. It would be like keeping keeping like a wild animal in captivity because this movie was never meant to be in a theater. I can't imagine what this movie will look like projected on a big screen. It will probably be like, it probably won't even play. It'll probably like distort and break up and not even be able to be projected. It's so much a direct-to-video movie.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
All right. That's it, I think, for Cruel Jaws.
It is.
What a delight. This was fun.
What a great find.
So good.
It's really hard to keep coming up with movies that challenge the boundaries.
That fit the bill.
Yeah, that challenge the boundaries of what we think of as sequels, what we think of as bad cinema, and were released at a certain month of the year. It's quite a narrow criteria we've had ourselves.
It's not easy.
So when you find something like this which ticks all those boxes and is its own little stew of delightfulness, nothing beats it.
I'll say. All right.
Except all the other Jaws movies, apparently.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for the Everything Sequel Watch Along of Cruel Jaws. We'll be back next month with another watch along. Tom will have something in store for me, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. Yes, you're going to be very happy.
Nice. I always am. All right, for Tom Stewart of Lonesome Whistle Productions, I am Michael Shantz. I'm from the How Dare You Awards. We'll see you next time. Listen to the podcast, and we'll have another watch along coming soon. Say goodbye, Tom.
Dick brain, dick brain, dick brain, dick brain.